Greetings, Crusaders! Thank you all for submitting your questions for my Q&A. I'm going to jump straight into this because I want this to be short and sweet. Let's do it. The first question is here. It says, congrats on 500 subs. Fighting time for manual labor, family, YouTube, and gaming is a lot to balance, but I'm glad it's paying off. It's awesome you don't rely on AI or negative clickbait. I made the jump from Helldivers 2 to Far Far West, and I'm glad you cover both. I'm taking a break from Helldivers 2, but watching the shit show as a spectator is still entertaining. Question 1. What's your personal top 5 single player games, not in terms of how you rank them, but in which ones you play the most or have the most fun memories of? 2. Do you have any hobbies or interests outside of gaming? And 3. Is there any upcoming game you're particularly excited about or keeping an eye on? Well, thank you for your question, and I've got to say some of my favorite games will probably be Cyberpunk 2077, Grand Theft Auto 5, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and let me think. Probably would have been Helldivers 2 before the shit show, and probably the God of War franchise as a whole. I think that's 5? I'm not too sure. Number 2, the answer would be any hobbies or interests outside of gaming is I like to mess with technology. I'm a big fan of, repairing things, creating things, and I'm really into electronics, so that's quite a big hobby for me. I also enjoy, I suppose you could call it amateur gunsmithing, but I do enjoy working on firearms, but I mainly deal in deactivated firearms because of where I live in the United Kingdom. Firearms are heavily restricted, so I have to, repair and restore deactivated firearms that no longer function. And as to question 3, I'm particularly excited about Cyberpunk Project Orion. I am such a huge fan of the original Cyberpunk 2077 game. I've played it a ton, and I can't wait to see what CD Projekt Red comes out with next, especially since a lot of the Warhorse developers, some of the guys who made Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 and 2, and oh my god, how did I forget Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 and 2? They're definitely some of my favorite games, so add that to the list. KCD 1 and 2. Some of the main devs from Kingdom Come Deliverance are now going to be working with CD Projekt Red on The Witcher 4 and Cyberpunk 2. So I'm really excited about that. And again, thank you for your comment. Let's move on to the next. The next one says, I'm glad you're getting bigger, man. One day you will get there. As someone who works construction as well, it ain't easy to balance YouTube and the construction job to day-to-day life. Good job sticking with it, buddy. I have a few questions though. 1. How old are you if you're willing to answer that? No need to answer that if you aren't comfortable. And 2. What's your favorite genre of each game? Do you like a variety of genres, or do you stick to more than 1 or 2? If you can elaborate, please do so. And 3. I hear you using the Mass Effect soundtracks in your videos. As a fellow fan of the Mass Effect franchise, and if you do, which one is your favorite? All I can think is that I'm curious, and the other 513 of us can ask you something too, man. Well, number 1 is I'm 18. I'm not afraid to give that out. I am younger than most other content creators, but, I'm not exactly, I don't have the swirly hat and the big propeller. I guess my favorite genre of game would have to be, like, role-playing, sort of, but not, like, in the sense of, like, Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, sort of in, like, the sense of Kingdom Come Deliverance and Mass Effect, like he mentions later. That's also a game I probably should have added to my favorites list in the first question, but yeah. Going straight into question 3, I do like Mass Effect, and probably my favorite would be Mass Effect 2, just because I don't know what it is, but the vibes of that game are unmatched. It would be 3, but just how Mass Effect 3 is brilliant up until the last 5 to 10% of the game. The feels of it just taper off completely, and that sours the whole thing, because if you don't have a good ending, it kind of ruins the whole experience prior. But yeah, I am definitely a Mass Effect fan. And, thank you for your comment. It does mean a lot to me. Next! This one asks, do you have any tips for newer content creators? I'd like to know just about everything, as I'd like to start making my own videos. Congrats on 500. It might look like much, but it's still a big step. I mean, for me, I've only been doing this for around 3 or 4 months. I started making content just after the March to Cyberstand update, because I got so frustrated with how Vox engines functioned, and how people were absolutely glazing the life out of it, and I'm like, I gotta make a video on this. So I downloaded DaVinci Resolve, and I learned how to edit just to dunk on Vox engines out of pure hate, and it grew from there. As for tips, I would say if you're trying to do something like gaming, or just a single sort of genre like cooking, driving, repairing, gaming, stick to the one concept as you're smaller, because the YouTube algorithm doesn't really know how to handle smaller channels when they have multiple branching large genres. Like, I stick just to gaming and gaming adjacent things because of the size of my channel. I can't really branch out because it would mess up how the algorithm would change my content. And it's also not to like diss you or like anyone else making videos, but a lot of the time the quality of the edited video doesn't really matter. What you need to do is get people's foot in the door with a good thumbnail and a good title, because you could have the best edited video in the world, but if people aren't clicking on it or looking at it, they're not going to be able to see the effort you put into the video. So you're going to need to have a thumbnail or a title that will bring people in to then see the effort you've put into the edit, which is the hard bit, is getting people in. But once you've got people in and you get an audience, you could do a lot more with that. It opens doors. So sort of your first few thousand subscribers, you are very railroaded on what you need to do. But once you're past that, you have a lot of options. That would be my main tip is good titles, good thumbnails, watchable edits, and just stick with it. Stay consistent. You don't have to daily upload, but as long as you're uploading every week and have solid videos that you've put love into, it should come. Also, hashtags. People put hashtags in the description. I tried to stick to a minimum of 2 to 3 hashtags and try to keep it on target. But that's all I'd have to say, and good luck with your channel. I mean, I might keep an eye on it, and if I do see you posting videos, I'll definitely try and drop in if I can remember. And, good luck. Next question. This one asks, what's your favorite game of all time or recently? Also, congrats on 500. I mean, thank you for congratulating me. And I feel like we've spoke about this previous, but of all time is definitely something I'd be very hard pressed to answer. It's very difficult to pin down because it would change depending on what day you ask. I've played a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean, like thousands of hours, but I don't know if I'd call it my favorite. It's just, it's like a comfort food, It's like saying chicken nuggets is your favorite food. It's like a comfort game, but favorite of all time, I might have to say Max Payne 3. And it's not one of the most known Rockstar games, but that game really, I don't know, it spoke to me. I definitely felt like it's very cringe to say, but I definitely did feel like a different person after playing Max Payne 3. And it's always stuck with me, especially, James McCaffrey's voiceovers and his voice work in that game. It's always stuck with me in my head. And a lot of times in my life, I definitely hear his voice narrating my life. It's definitely got to be one of my favorite games. I've not necessarily played it as much as others, but just the way it's changed my life and how I think definitely had a massive impact on my, life going forwards. So it's got to be Max Payne 3. Not to say that I love some games as equally, if not more so, but just the way it changed me is definitely altered my life path. Definitely Max Payne 3. Next question! This one is from my friend Black Wolf. He's also a fellow YouTuber. Check him out. He doesn't upload as much, but when he does, it's absolute gold. Far better than my content. He asked if I will ever do the occasional live stream. Now, this is something I've been thinking about doing. And since we're towards the end of the video, a lot of the people who aren't super fans will be gone. And between you and me, guys, let me know what you think about if I do stream. Because I do want to stream, but the only issue is I have, I don't know if I'd call it anxiety, but I have a fear that I'd be streaming to 0 viewers. So I want to try and build up my YouTube audience to have a lot of international viewers. So if I ever do start live streaming, I will at least have at least 5 or 10 people I'd like to be watching me, because it would just feel so cringe to be streaming for hours to nobody. And with streaming, it's a potluck whether you actually get somewhere with your career. You could be a streamer for 10 years and never grow, or you could be a streamer for a week and explode. Whereas YouTube's a lot more surefire. So I'd definitely like to have the bigger YouTube audience, then getting to streaming and get that trickle of support from the odd people who joins me through my streams. So that would definitely be the thing, but let me know what you guys think about that, because I would like to stream. But like I said, I just want to get that audience up first, because it's something I'm interested in. Because, you know, I don't know if this sounds sus or not, but I'm a very different person when I'm like streaming and I'm in a flow and I've been, you know, getting into my groove for hours on end. I tend to be a lot more funny than I am recording these videos, because I get very introverted during these recordings and I have a lot of jokes that I want to say but I just can't get out of me or get flushed out of my head during the writing and scripting process. So I would like to live stream so you guys can see that side of me. But yeah, you know, let me know what you think about that, because I definitely would like to do it. And if you want to see me live stream, subscribe, because once I get that sub count up, I would be more encouraged to stream, because I know I would have the backing. So, that's it. Those are the questions, and I'd like to thank you all for sticking with me. You know, this is the end of the video, I'll say that. And I want to thank you all for watching. Rate the video, you know, like, dislike, leave your comment. And if you're not subscribed and you want to see more, subscribe, because it lets me know you want more. And with that, I'll ask you all to have a great day, because you need to know that you're valued, you're loved, you have an impact on this world, and you can do great things. In the words of the wonderful Chris Bowden, it gets better. But with that, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.